Welcome, everyone. So I caused a bit of chaos yesterday when I brought up the tough topic of IEP addendums and what to do if you receive an addendum, what to do if you're a teacher and you have to send an addendum, what you should and should not say. And there's a lot of disagreement of what you should and should not do, but I will tell you that if you decide to respond to an IEP addendum by stating that you're not going to sign this and that you're demanding an IEP meeting in the fall ASAP within 30 days of school beginning, it's going to cause a hot mess for everyone who's involved. I truly want you to consider, I truly just want you to say yes to a virtual IEP meeting if it's being offered to you or if you feel like you need one. Because here's the deal. Every time a teacher is pulled into an IEP meeting, she loses more class time with her students. Every therapist is losing those minutes, and it just causes chaos for students in a regular school year. IEP season is tough no matter what. And then we're going to have this big rush in the fall of people who are requesting IEP meetings in the very beginning of the year. And let me tell you, when it comes to scheduling IEP meetings, there's going to be two lines. All right. The first line is going to be for the parents who, I'm just going to say it, wrote the nasty letter to the school district about not providing services and wanting to do an addendum and how dare they leave my child behind. And they did what I call old style advocacy. Okay. That line for IEP meetings getting on the books is going to have to line up in front of the administrator's door, because what's going to happen is, and anybody who has used this approach or any teacher who has experienced this approach knows this happens behind the scenes. Those teachers are going to be told not to talk to those parents. Don't worry about scheduling it. I will take care of it. That parent is on fire. I will take care of it. Okay. So the administrator is going to have this line outside their door, figuratively, although maybe in real life too, of all the parents who said, okay, now that we're back in school, let me tell you how you're going to pay for what happened to my child. And I need an IEP meeting and I want all the services times 2. And it's just going to be ugly. Okay. So that line's going to be really long, and it's going to take a long time for each person to get their concerns taken care of. And they're not going to be taken care of in the way that they think. All right. Those demands are not going to happen. It's just not. Then there's going to be a second line. And this second line is where everybody else is going to be, because everybody is going to want to clarify, where is my child at? Did they regress? What do we need to be working on? Should we be reprioritizing IEP goals based on what we know now? All of these different things. All right. So that's line 2. You want to be in line 2. And to get in line 2 and to not feel anxious in line 2, you need to say yes to the virtual IEP meeting now. Now, I've been doing this for 20 years. You guys know I have a brother with Down syndrome. He's 42. I grew up as a special needs sibling. I know what the inside of your house looks like on a good, bad, ugly day. There are tough moments and there are tougher moments. There's great days too. Okay. Then I became a special education teacher. So I get it. I get what happens in a regular school year. I'm not going to pretend to know what it feels like to be a special education teacher right now. I can only imagine. Okay, with everything that's going on. But I can tell you that if you say yes to a virtual IEP meeting, you can get just as much done, if not more, when you're working together virtually than if you're at the IEP table. All right, because for the last 20 years, I've taken my experience as a teacher and as a special needs sibling, and I've been coaching parents and districts on how to build IEPs that work. I'm typically, jumping on planes and going to do professional development, or I'm working with parent groups and traveling and speaking and doing all that. I'm not doing that right now, which means you guys, this is all about you guys right here. Okay. So I want you to know that when I go and I meet everybody around the country, here's what happens. I end up working on IEPs virtually. I come back home and then I work by phone or by video virtually. I've been doing it for decades. We didn't have video back in the day, so it was always by phone. But this is absolutely possible. I don't know what it feels like to be a special ed teacher right now. I don't. Again, I can guess. I don't know what it feels like to be a special needs mom going through this right now. I don't. But I do know 100% how to build an IEP virtually and get stuff done at the table. I can tell you that it works because that's been my full-time job for a really long time. So don't be scared of a virtual IEP meeting. In fact, I have a workshop that you can watch online. It's free. Just go to the link that's above or below, depending on where you're watching the video. Above or below, you can go get the virtual IEP prep workshop for free. I'm going to give you some of my best tips in that workshop. And here, let me give you one right now, and then you can go get the rest of them inside of that workshop. All right. It is really important for a parent to have a direct line of communication to someone they trust on the IEP team outside of just the technology that you're using. Let me explain. When I'm doing a virtual IEP meeting, I'm often that trusted person for the parent, even if I'm hired by the district, okay? The parent wants to chat with me. And so we're sitting at the table virtually, okay? We're sitting at the table virtually, and the parent wants to ask me something before she asks the full team. She wants to say something, but she's not sure. Do I want to ask it this way? Should I ask it now? Does this sound like a dumb question? Okay, there's no dumb questions. We know that, right? Okay, at the IEP table for parents, you need to ask all the questions all the time. So it's super important to me that I actually give the parent my cell phone number, and that if I'm working virtually and they text me, what does the speech therapist really mean? Or should I ask now about placement? Or what about ESY? Because it takes down the parent's anxiety. It allows them to know that I got them. Like, I understand, I got it, okay? And a lot of times, teachers, you can be this trusted person, or if social worker or a speech therapist, whoever on the team is kind of the parent's buddy, all right? You can have a direct line of communication. So when everybody's sitting on Zoom, all right, yes, there's a chat box. I talk about how to use the chat box too. Yes, there's a chat box. And when you use the chat box on most platforms, you can send a message to everybody, or you can send a message just to one person. But a lot of times, it's like, am I really sending it to the right person? And there's some guesses. So if you have a direct line of communication, like a direct text line, okay, where a parent can communicate with a trusted team member during the meeting to make sure their voice is heard and they understand everything that's happening, it absolutely brings down the anxiety, brings up the results, and creates more collaboration. So go ahead and grab the rest of the online virtual IEP prep workshop that you can watch for free. It's up there at that link. And put any of your questions below here, and I will talk to you guys soon.